Hello Poppets, I just want to let you know before you start watching this video that it does talk about depression, anxiety, and suicide. So if you don't think it's something that you should watch, then I just wanted to let you know that right up front.
Jen motherfucking Dent, president, Jen motherfucking Dent, president, Jen motherfucking Dent, president, Jen motherfucking Dent, president.
Hello Poppets, how's everybody doing today? I hope you're doing well. Before I get started, I would really like to show you this t-shirt that Trish Ann made for me, and it is for suicide awareness. It was very nice of you to make this for me. Thank you so much. I really do treasure it, and I will be wearing it out so that I can spread the message to other people. Today's video is gonna be on several different subjects. First of all, I want to talk about what's been going on with me. If you are a longtime viewer of mine, you know that I do suffer with depression and anxiety, and that I have had suicidal ideations in the past, which is not something I'm proud of. There is a stigma that surrounds mental health that I think that we really need to work hard on getting rid of, because when I talk to other people, most people that I talk to tell me that they have also suffered with depression and anxiety and or suicidal ideations in varying degrees. I can't even tell you when mine began. I think it runs in my family. I know that several of my family members have it. Also, I had an aunt who shot herself maybe 2 years ago now. I have a cousin who threw himself into the Niagara River about a year ago. I also have someone in my family that very recently cut his wrists and slit his throat so badly that he had to have sutures. I know I'm not the only one that suffers with depression and anxiety. Mine got much worse while I was going through my divorce. And actually it happened after my divorce, because my divorce happened so suddenly. And I know now that it happened so suddenly because my ex-husband had another relationship going on. And that is not what this video is about, because I know that they love to watch my videos and say that I bring them up all the time, but while they are off having just the time of their lives and they have jumped into a new relationship, which if you watched my video recently on cheating, of course they're having a wonderful time because they really haven't gotten to know each other yet. And she doesn't know what she's in for. But again, that's not what this video is about. I'm simply saying that during that time, in the past 3 years, it was so hard. I can explain it better if I read you something that I posted on Facebook recently. Let me do that. Trigger warning: suicide. A little over a year ago, I went to Ohio to do photos at a wedding. I had just found out that my suspicions of betrayal at the hands of a person who had promised to love me even in divorce were true. I found out that I had been lied to not only at first, but also for months on end, and the feeling of betrayal was so crushing that I was hardly dealing at all, but I was putting on a brave face. A few weeks before I went to Ohio, I was shown a post that ridiculed me for having an ectopic pregnancy at 25 years old, losing 2 children, and having to have multiple surgeries that basically ended in a hysterectomy. I'll put down some links below if you're interested in hearing about that. I had a 6-hour drive to Ohio that weekend alone in the car. I worked all weekend doing the photos, and then I drove 6 hours home. For those 6 hours, I thought about suicide. I didn't have a plan. I didn't want to kill myself, but I had a nagging, incessant voice telling me that nothing was going to get better. I saw no light at the end of the tunnel. All I saw was lies, betrayal, humiliation, and pain. And also, I felt that I deserved it for my past transgressions in life, even though I was working actively to right my wrongs in life. I drove for 6 hours thinking about the fact that I honestly just wanted to cease to exist. I cried on and off about the fact that I knew my parents and my sister would be devastated. I knew that my sister would probably never get over it, and that it would affect her ways in life that I did not want to be responsible for. But I didn't want to live. I had groups of people involving themselves in my divorce simply because they didn't like me, and it was non-stop. Every time I would put on a brave face and hold my head up and snap back, they would just ridicule me more for being ugly, old, having no job, etc. And it wasn't the words. The words do not really hurt me, but it was the situation. I had agreed to an amicable divorce, and then later found out that I was the idiot in the whole situation. I trusted someone who went out of his way to betray me at every turn, and I should have known he was capable. On 2 occasions, I have self-medicated to the point where I was surprised / disappointed when I woke up the next morning. This is not something that I'm proud of. Suicide is not always wanting to die. It's more like that voice in your head telling you that it's just not gonna get better. Nothing you can do is gonna make you happy. You have to cut the grass and it's 100 degrees outside. The dog is shedding all over the house. You have bills and you don't know exactly how you're gonna pay them. You're overwhelmed, you're tired, and you just don't see it getting any better. And that's how I felt. I just didn't see a light at the end of the tunnel. I had to stand in court at no fault of my own because someone twisted my words, held on to them, and got mad when I made fun of a ring. I'll put that link down below so you can, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you'll be able to go look. So I had to stand in court and listen as a person who hurt me used the fact that I openly talked about these things against me. She used these things against me. I reached out for help. I tried to help others, and she used these things against me. As a judge looked down over his lowered glasses and looked down at me as this woman said that I had openly talked about depression and suicide. Ponder that. I don't have an answer. This post is not an answer. This post is me sharing what I went through so that maybe people will understand. Suicide is not always wanting to die. Sometimes you are in so deep in a dark, lonely hole that even death seems like the obvious answer. But it isn't. So don't do it. I don't have a nice bow to wrap this up. Hopefully it makes sense to someone. Thank you for reading. People often ask me, why do I share so much about myself? Why do I tell so many secret things about myself? Why do I give up so much information? And why do I say things that people can potentially use against me? I fully believe that if I am afforded a platform that I have been afforded, it is a responsibility of mine to talk about things so that other people can learn from them. Even if it's going to be something that maybe I really didn't want people to know about myself. Now, I'm not going to get in here and tell everything. There's some things that will go with me to the grave unless somebody else tells them. And if they do that, then I'll address it on here and beat them to the punch, I guess. I fully believe that if I can share what I'm going through, then maybe I can help someone else. I went to the doctor 3 different times with my mom because I was so depressed and having so much anxiety. It would take nothing to send me into an anxiety attack, a panic attack. And they were so bad. I remember one day I had gone to Washington State, which is a long flight, okay? It's a major time change. And I had come home, I had allowed myself 1 day to rest, and then I went straight back to work. And then the next day I had to go grocery shopping. And I remember that I had like 3 panic attacks in the grocery store based off of nothing. And when I got home, I texted my mom and I said, "Are you there?" And she was like, "Yeah, what's up?" And I was like, "I'm having an anxiety attack and I literally don't know why and I feel like an idiot." And she was like, "I will be right there." And she came over. I had groceries all over the place. I had everything just laid out. I didn't know what to do first. Like, okay, no big deal. You go grocery shopping, you come home, you unpack the shit, you put it away. But my brain, I could not make heads or tails of what I needed to do. And when she came in the house, she hugged me and she was like, "You're shaking. Why are you shaking?" And I was like, "I literally don't know. I'm so overwhelmed." She was like, "Be nicer to yourself. You just got back from a major trip, like a time change. You went straight back to work and then you're going and running errands." I said, "Yeah, because I had a week off, so it's time to go back to work." She's like, "Don't work that way, Jen. You got to give yourself a break. You got to give yourself some rest. You listen to your body." What I have discovered about myself, and this is kind of hard to tell, but I'm going to tell it anyway because I hope it'll help somebody. There's a stigma that surrounds mental health, especially bipolar disease. People love to call everyone, "Well, she's bipolar," or that's her evil twin. I'm so used to people making fun of bipolar disorder, but I've recently been diagnosed with bipolar 2. What that means is that I can have very, very bad lows and then I can have highs, but they're not the type of mania. It's not the type of mania that makes me go out and spend a lot of money, or makes me go out and like have sex with a bunch of people, or makes me do crazy shit. It's more like I have to stay busy. I will do everything in one day instead of spreading it out to give myself a break. I will kill myself in a 24-hour period doing stuff like clean the entire house, cut the grass, walk the dog, do the laundry. I mean, all of it. You name it. Go grocery shopping. You name it. I'll do it all in one day to where the next day I can't function. I've done stupid shit like take everything out of the dishwasher and wash it by hand. That's not normal. But at that time, all I saw was that I was staying busy. I was staying busy. But it's not good for you to be that way. And so I went to the doctor and I talked to him about it. And he had me on an antidepressant, anti-anxiety medication. And he decided to try to wean me off of that and to put me on a mood stabilizer. And since I've been on that mood stabilizer, I have felt kind of flat. But it's a flat that I can't quite explain. It's like I'll get down sometimes and I'll get kind of depressed, but it's not as bad as it used to be. It's more like I can identify it and I can be like, I'm feeling a little down, but I don't get into a hole where like I'm bawling my face off. And then on the days that I feel manic, I get stuff done, but I've kind of gotten to where I can be like, okay, that's enough. You've done enough. Go sit down, the rest can wait till tomorrow. I'm giving the people who don't like me lots of ammunition against me by sharing this. But I'd also like to say that a lot of those people who don't like me based off of things I've done or said to them. And now in hindsight, I can look back and think, you know, there's things I've said and done in the past that I said and did because I was manic or I was depressed. And while there are people who can eternally suck my dick till the day I die, there are some that I know flat out that I was mean to or I was rude to because either I was unhappy in my marriage or I was just in one of those zones. There have been times where, yeah, all I thought about was suicide. All I thought about was not really that I wanted to die, but that I just didn't want to be here and that it really wouldn't bother me that much if something happened to me and I was gone. Because life is overwhelming. I still live in this house that I lived in with another person. It's big. It's not a one-person house. It's a 2-income house. I have this huge yard. I have to cut it myself. I have to do all the shopping myself. I have to take care of all the dogs myself. I have to do everything myself. And I get so overwhelmed that it's almost like I just honestly feel like I can't breathe sometimes. It's just so much. But what I have to remember is that there are people who love me, who would do anything for me to help me if I asked them. I have to remember that, and that's a really hard thing for people to do when they are strong individuals, when they're independent individuals. It's hard to reach out and ask for help. Suicide often seems like the easy answer, but it sounds so cliche, but it's a long-term solution. It's a permanent solution to short-term problems. I hope that by sharing myself that I don't come across as insane or that I'm seeking attention. I just hope that when I share myself that maybe it'll help somebody else because we all struggle. And when I think about money problems and I think about stress, everybody that I talk to says, oh my God, yeah, I the same way. I had to ask my dad to give us some money so we could get groceries. Or my friend who I never knew this about is like, girl, we almost had to claim bankruptcy like 2 years ago. It's getting harder and harder to survive. I didn't want to cry in this video, but I just don't want anyone to hurt themselves based off of short-term problems that I know you think are gonna last forever. They're not. They're not gonna last forever. I went recently and had a little semicolon put on my wrist to remind me that things don't last forever. It's gonna get better. We all go through bad times. And especially for me, summertime, I hate it. I get so depressed in the summer. And I had told myself, you're not gonna do that this year, but it is happening. And so just hang in there. Call the suicide hotline, reach out to one of your friends. All you gotta say is, look, I'm feeling really low. I need to talk. Or I'm thinking of hurting myself. I really need to talk. I need you to talk me through this. If nothing else, get online. Put it on Facebook. I need to talk to somebody. Anybody. Can somebody just hit me up and talk? That's what I've had to do more times than I would like to admit. But I've done it. So guys, I hope that this video helps somebody. Just remember, it doesn't always stay bad. It will get better even when you think it won't. I mean, for God's sake, I went through 3 years of thinking life was just a complete shit show and really not worth living, but within the past 6 months or so, it has gotten better. Yes, I'm going into a slight low right now. I think it's because it's summer. I'm not really sure. And just situational things. But at least it's not an ongoing life sucks track running in my head. It's more of just situational things. So just hang in there, guys. Reach out if you need it. I always have the links in my descriptions below. So I hope that if you do need help, you will look into those things and you will ask for help. So guys, I hope this video was helpful. If you found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and if you have, thank you so much. Please make sure you click the little bell icon down below so it will tell you every time I put up a new video. I do videos on Tuesdays and Saturdays. I also do a vlog on Fridays, so come back and join me next time and I'll do something happy so that I won't cry. But I'll see you then. Have a good day. I love you. Bye. If the relationship that you are in resulted from cheating, that person is gonna cheat on you. I am willing to bet money.